You're going to judge me, but it's fine. I'm used to that.
Always. Welcome to 5-3 Podcast. I'm Doria, joined by my former coworker turned co-host, Brittany.
Howdy.
Hey, Brittany. How are you doing?
Sneezy. My allergies are probably like a 9 out of 10 this week. So if I sound like a snuffleupagus, that's why. I'm also not crying. It's just my left eye is doing its thing. Thank you, Paul.
Unhappy with pollen. Yeah, it's been raining and then sunny basically like every few days. So same thing here. I am so congested. It's bad.
It's currently 91 where I am, which is insane. Mm-hmm. So it is hot. It is dry. It is polleny.
Yeah. Lovely. Well, I feel you on that. Okay, let's dive into today's fun topic. So Brittany and I were reminiscing over misconnections on Craigslist, which if you are too young to have ever experienced Craigslist in its heyday, I don't know how you found this podcast because we are definitely probably not the right podcast for you. But for the rest of our demographic, which is around our age, we all, I swear, spent a lot of time on Craigslist, buying, selling, but the personal sections was just so good. It was so good. And Misconnections was by far the star of that show.
Yeah, it still to this day, I was thinking about this, and I think I found Craigslist when I was like, what, 16 at oldest, maybe? It's been around for a minute. And all I ever wanted was to be someone's misconnection. So I remember being in like college and just constantly like, where have I been? Where did I go? Does anybody miss me? That sounds really sad.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Were you like scoping out misconnections to see if someone might have mentioned you?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I still do that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I like never leave my house besides to go to my usual spots. But that doesn't mean there might not be one. There's an entire account where I live dedicated to posting misconnections. So of course I follow them because somebody might have seen me when I was mowing my lawn. Actually, I hope not because they know where I live. Somebody might have seen me when I was grabbing flowers. At the farmer's market. Exactly. That's what matters.
Yes. Yeah. Or, grabbing dog treats at one point. Maybe picking up a Trader Joe's tote bag.
Bingo. Picking up my Pop Mart Labubu order.
Yep. Like, yeah, there you go. Misconnections over
looks like Labubu. She's got the secret.
Yeah.
Gotta find her.
I hope he wants you for more than your secret, but in this day and age, you never know.
Yeah. That's such a deep statement.
That's funny. So I had a friend and she and I would occasionally, after a long week, read misconnections together and just send them back and forth and die over some of them. My favorite ones were the themed ones where it's like galactic prince looking for the whatever princess at Shaw's. And I'm like, what is going on here? Fascinating. But, there's a lid for every pot, as they say.
They're just, some of them are so good. And like, don't get me wrong, they're the spicy ones, which I feel like Beef, that Netflix series was inspired by a Craigslist misconnection. Because people get really ragey. But I
didn't like that series. I'm going to be honest. I didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, for a lot of reasons, I felt like it wasn't the greatest example of like talent. I don't know. Like there were talented people in it, but I didn't feel like it was a good display of their talents. And it's very seldom that you have an Asian-led cast that isn't like super tokeny. And so I just felt like, I don't know.
I thought it was so good.
A lot of people like it. Yeah.
The like range of emotions that you kind of go through in the character development to where you go from hating them to loving them and just the role reversal. Oh, it is so good. It's very unforgiving to the characters, which I appreciated.
Yeah. There's also a lot of controversy around different actors in the show. I don't know how much you know about that, but like in the Asian acting community, like there's some controversy behind a few of them. So I think that was part of it too, where it was just like, why would you have that person in that show? Actually, they all knew each other from what I understood. Like they all had a connection and that's how they all ended up together, I think, for the most part. But I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't get into it. I didn't finish it. And another one of the shows I never finish. I'm telling you, I will walk away if I don't like it, episode 1 or 11 or 21.
But what if it gets better?
No, I don't care. You've already lost me now. It's like a relationship. No. Nope.
Wow.
Yep.
Maybe that should be my next hinge question for people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you finish a series until the end, or do you walk away when you're like, there's nothing here for me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it can get better. I mean, The Last of Us obviously did. I still haven't watched the finale, but I'm not watching that out of just principle.
I didn't continue watching it after they killed Pedro Pascal. No.
I tried. He made his appearance. Like, he came back.
I mean...
But it was just...
Yeah.
I don't like when I want to shake a main character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just want to...
Yeah.
It drives me crazy. I can't do it.
Not good. Misconnections is funny, though. I love that it's still going strong. I feel like that is a good use of whatever's left of Craigslist. Craigslist is like, to me, a mall where like it still stands and there's some stores in it that you might recognize, but for the most part, it's just like, what is this? And there's like tumbleweeds rolling on through it. You know?
It's great. Have you ever posted a misconnection?
I have not. I have definitely read one from someone that I knew on there. And I think the one that was probably most memorable to me was someone on the T, which is our MBTA, our train.
Oh, yeah.
Right, in Boston. And someone was like, they went on and on about this girl they saw on the T. And I was like, that is the most Boston thing I've ever seen. And I am here for, like, I want to watch that Netflix movie. I will watch, I will subscribe. I will pay for it on Prime. It was so cute. I hope they found each other. It was really cute. Yeah. They were like, you got off at Copley and I kept going. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. That's sweet.
That's adorable.
It was. What about you?
Oh, I definitely have.
Oh, you posted this? Really? Have you ever had
have.
someone actually respond who was the person?
Okay, so.
Oh, God. Actually.
I posted one and never again. People are insane, I think is the best way I can put it. But I was in Chicago.
Craigslist. Like, people of Craigslist should be a theme.
100. Oh my gosh, that should be a show on HBO.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
People at Craigslist. I posted a fake job on Craigslist just to collect resumes, but
okay, Brittany. Why?
There's two stories technically, I guess. The fake job, when I was graduating college, like LinkedIn wasn't a thing, right?
Right.
We were applying for jobs through Craigslist and through whatever way you found them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a public relations major.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited. I had interned, but I was applying for jobs, and I'm like, who's my competition? Who are these people? And I was like,
oh my God.
Well, create job posting. And I created a posting for all of the roles essentially I would be applying for.
Yeah.
To see who would also be applying to them. Because you're applying to one, you're applying to all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I started getting resumes from people that were like, really excited about this job, blah, blah, blah. In the back of my mind, I'm like, you're dumb. You clearly didn't Google this non-existent company. You're all going to get murdered. Because even then, I had a safety mindset. But yeah, I got to see who my competition was. I got to pull some of the key lines that some of them had in their resumes. Spruce it into mine,
gosh.
Make it sound better. It's like a group interview. You take the best parts from everyone and you make it sound
like a group interview? I don't. Okay,
yeah, you know their answers.
Let's talk about the ethics really quickly behind this, because I feel like there's some question of integrity about intentionally misleading people into sending a resume with personal information online.
Yeah, I didn't exist in like 2010. No one cared about a privacy policy in 2010.
All right. Well, for anyone who applied to Brittany's fake company, you didn't get the job.
Well, surprise, but thank you for.
Oh my gosh.
Help. And the funny thing was, I didn't even go work for a different company. I got a job right after college with a company that I had interned with twice. So I didn't need to do this. I was just nosy.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And I worked
2010 Brittany had like some stuff.
And I worked that job for 6 weeks.
Excellent. All right. Well, time well spent. PII well used, apparently.
Worth it. But
I mean, yes.
So back to my missed connection.
Okay.
Which is slightly more ethical.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah, no, I was at a music festival in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a long day. I had found the night before, this is back before they had these digital bracelets where you had to scan into everything.
Yep.
They used to just be cloth with a little bead.
Yep.
It was great. I found an all-access wristband walking out of the festival on night one. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is amazing. I can use this. So took it back to the Airbnb or wherever we were staying. And the next day I walked in. I'm like, let me test this. It was perfect. I had an all-access pass. Life was good. I ended up meeting a guy backstage.
Okay.
Really attractive. We ended up getting drinks, watching a bunch of bands together. His dad was a top tier person at some major company.
Okay.
It's like Fortune 50 company in Chicago, so that's why he got passes.
Okay.
Great. Fantastic time. We're like, let's get lunch tomorrow. I'm like, I fly out tomorrow at 6. Let's get lunch at noon. But then we proceeded to continue drinking. And then I didn't get his number. So at the end of the night, I was like, oh, great. See you later. See you tomorrow. When we got back to the Airbnb, I'm like, oh, I think I actually forgot to get his number. And he was handsome. Like, whew, tall, handsome man.
Yeah.
So I did what any rational 22-year-old would do. I posted a misconnection on Craigslist.
Love it. Okay.
But I wasn't smart about it because you're supposed to leave out certain details about it so that way you know it's the real person.
Right.
I said, your name is, we'll say Frank.
Okay.
That wasn't his name. Your name was Frank, and we met backstage, like during, I don't know what band. And we're supposed to get lunch today. I'm really sorry I didn't save your number. Let me know if you still want to get lunch. So dumb. Because within 20 minutes, I had so many people saying, I'm Frank, I'm Frank, I'm Frank, and an inappropriate photo that said, this is Frank.
Shocking back then.
So I was not particularly lucky. But I think the funny part of that story isn't that I got terrible responses from garbage humans. It's that at 3 o'clock when I was heading to the airport, I got a text from someone.
Was it Frank?
I had saved his number, and he was like, you didn't call me this morning. I'm like, I had no idea I had your number.
Oh my gosh. Lovely.
We're still Facebook
amazing.
friends.
Oh, that's cute. Well, you've learned a lot, I think, from that. I once thought about doing a misconnection. That's why I was like, did I? No. So I was in college at the time. I went out for like I feel like big group dinners were like a really big thing when I was in my early 20s. I don't know why, it just was out here. I orchestrated some of them, and I attended a bunch of them where it was like literally 10 to 12 people going out to eat. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
And this was before it was easy to split bills and you have sales tax?
100%. This was cash. And like we would meet with big groups. We would go to a bar, to a club, to a restaurant, wherever. I mean, again, it's just what was happening at the time. And I knew a couple of the people, but not all the people, met a bunch of new people. Cause again, it was a long enough table. They had to put 2 long tables together.
Damn.
And there was one side and another side. It just kind of happened that way. My side was the fun side. Like we were laughing our asses off. And there was a guy there who I don't know who he came with. I don't know how we ended up next to each other at this table, but we hit it off and we were literally peeing our pants laughing for like the entire night. It was like the best non-first date I'd ever been on. Cute. And yeah, super cute, right? And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like who is this? And I was newly single, finally like a little mildly healed from my breakup, not totally, but just enough to like feel like maybe I'd be interested in casually dating someone. And so I felt like, okay, I'll be able to figure out who that person is, right? Because they obviously came with someone. Could never figure out who it was. I have no idea. Never saw this person again. Like the best, again, first non-date I'd ever been on. We clicked so well. He was so fucking funny. No idea who he was. I don't even remember his name anymore. I think it was Ryan or something. I don't remember. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But no, never saw him again.
Damn.
Yeah.
That, nope. I wouldn't have rested. I would have had to like...
I mean, there's a lot we have a very condensed air. Like, what am I going to do? I was also...
Did you... Well, did you see that Instagram story that's going around?
Which one?
Of the girl who had a party. I think she was in Boston, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, jeez.
She apparently had a party at some point. Somebody had alcohol poisoning, so the cops and fire department showed up.
Oh my gosh.
But she was obsessed with one of the firemen that was there. And so
we
she
do have
took
nice
to
firemen.
She took to Instagram. Okay.
In Massachusetts.
I'm coming to Massachusetts.
Listen, when I tell you fire,
I think my eyebrows are moving.
EMT.
It's the Botox.
No.
I dated a Boston firefighter.
I love that.
For I say dated. I met him at a karaoke bar and he gave us a ride back to our hotel in Dorchester.
I can't with you. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway. Mm-hmm. Firefighters.
Again. But it's hilarious. She drew a picture of him, and it's a stick figure with a mustache and biceps.
Oh
and
my God.
Apparently people knew exactly who he was based off of this stick figure drawing.
Sense. Also, like, where you get your like aid from, you'd be able to figure out what station they were coming out of. So that's actually very doable.
Well, she had apparently looked up the entire roster of this fire department and like went down a rabbit hole, couldn't do it, posted her stick figure drawing with little biceps and a mustache. People responded. They're like, oh, he's married and has kids. She's like, that's hilarious, but thank you for letting me know. The fire department took her drawing and put it on coffee mugs at the station.
Oh, hell. The hazing. I have never, so fire, EMT, like the hazing that goes on there is intense. It is very much a family mentality in the best and the worst ways. So I'm surprised they didn't put it on a banner on like the fire truck in a parade. Home of so-and-so. Like,
he was handsome. They actually showed him. I'm like, yes, I'm coming to Massachusetts.
Let me tell you the downside to dating a firefighter, though. I did it for years. So there's this, you know how they have like...
Oh, is it because they're too hot?
I wish.
On the fire?
No. We called them like firefighter widows, where basically your spouse, your partner is never around because they're always on call. They're always going to whatever. But then there's this other side of it where you could be eating dinner. You could be at a restaurant. You could be out shopping. You could be God knows where. And if you are within radio distance from whatever your like hub is, and you hear a call come in, your firefighter isn't finding you to go on that call. They are leaving your ass wherever you are, and you are left behind while they go on call, whether or not they're supposed to be on call. I cannot tell you how many times I was left behind and had to get a ride, or had like, and I had other firefighter girlfriends, wives, whatever, that I was friends with, right? Like that's kind of who you start to hang out with at some point.
Yeah.
We'd go get each other, or we'd all go together, and we'd know like there's a good chance she and I are bringing each other home, and these two idiots are leaving without us. Like it was just such a thing.
Lives.
Yeah, no, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're not. I was in college in class once, and my then firefighter boyfriend would have to text me and be like, I'm getting a call. And I'd be like, do I leave my class and go with him? Like, do I not? It was an interesting time. It was good. You know, they're great. Respect what they do. It is a rough life for a partner, I will say.
Yeah. Well, they do extended shifts, right? It's like 3 days on, 4 days off, or something like that.
It very much depends on the fire department. So you can have people who are full-time, you can have people who are part-time, you can have people who are on call, you can have people who do 24s, you can have people, it really depends. The bigger the department, typically you get those big rotations. The smaller department, not so much. It really depends though. And then you have firefighter paramedics, firefighter EMTs, like...
Which one gives me 4 days of silence and solitude?
Big city firefighter EMT or paramedic, yeah, for
Boston,
sure. You're not
here
seeing that, buddy. See you on Thursday.
Sounds like a dream.
You know, well, there's so many.
You know me, Doria.
There's so many interesting things, because what happens if they go to a call is that they come back and then they wake you up and they're like, I have so much adrenaline in my body right now at 2 a.m. that you're not getting any sleep. And like, yeah, it's just a whole fucking thing.
That's why you have a guest room.
Oh,
I have a very strict do not wake me up rule.
No,
like,
no.
Oh,
they're waking you up. Even if you don't live together, they're coming by your house and they're waking you up. Like, it's a thing.
Where are the manners?
I mean, I don't know. It's what you get for dating someone full of testosterone and adrenaline. Crazy. God, I just had like a memory of hearing the fucking tone on the I can't. On the radio.
I don't know. I wonder how susceptible I'd be to that, because I've gotten in trouble for locking my partner out, and I was sleeping so heavily I didn't hear him break into the garage and like physically break the door open to come into the house. I'm a pretty decent sleeper. Not anymore, but there was a period in time.
The longer the call goes too, you worry, and you kind of like, maybe you doze off, but you're kind of up and you want to listen to make sure that like they like,
oh, so that's right. They're like actually doing
something.
Things,
yeah. And so everybody has a number. That's like fair. Every firefighter has their own number. And so like, I remember what the firefighter I dated, like what their numbers were. And so they hang their tag usually on something, at least in all the departments people I was involved with were at when they go in, and then everybody takes them when they come out, and then they can tell who hasn't come out. And like, it's a whole thing to make sure everybody gets out. And we did actually have some deaths near us back when I was dating firefighters. It was just a very sensitive time.
It's hard.
So yeah, you get very, like, you're so irritated by it. But then when it's like going on and they're actually doing something,
it's terrifying.
Yeah. But then there's also mutual aid too. So like if your town isn't involved in the fire, but the town near you needs assistance because the fire is out of control and they need more resources, then your dude is leaving and heading out to wherever and doing whatever. And it's just like, I don't know. It's a lot. I've been left a lot of places.
It's fair.
In a lot of places. Yep. So I don't live that life anymore though.
No.
Nope. Anyway. While we were talking about misconnections, you brought up missing cat posters and people using them for non-cat purposes. I had never heard of this. I still don't understand it. You have to explain this to me because this is apparently a thing.
I had no idea this was a thing, like ever, until probably 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And a coworker was explaining this to me. Somehow it came up in some conversation about like a missing cat or a missing dog.
Okay.
And they looked at me like I was insane. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Like, missing cat posters? Like, what's wrong with them? I'm like, they're all over my neighborhood. They're like, oh, those aren't missing cats. In particular, the ones that have, I think they said with like the little tabs you pull off with the phone number.
Yeah.
Apparently, in certain places, these missing cat posters are for adult activity parties situations, so to say.
Interesting.
And the description of the cat is what tells you what you need to know about the party. If it's a long-haired cat, if it's a short-haired cat, if there's a picture of the cat, all of these different things apparently mean something different. And I tried to Google this and try and find something. I don't know if it's like a local thing, but everybody knew this. And I was under the impression it had to be just this myth that wasn't a thing. But I've talked to other people that are like, oh yeah, no, that's like a known situation. And you take the little phone number so you can call them. But then there's other things like if you put up a missing cat poster and someone calls, they'll say things like, so did you find your cat? And that's an entry point into like starting the conversation. Yeah, to make sure that you know what they're calling for. And if it has an address, that tells you where the address is. Like little things like that apparently all lead up to different types of adult activities.
I'm trying to think. So out where I live, people will often post like missing animals, but they put it in like those like transparent sleeves. There's no pull tabs and it's stapled on there, and Fluffy's missing for forever until like the rain washes it down. Maybe in a city you could find them with the pull tabs more easily.
They were all over my neighborhood before I moved to where I am now. And I think that was how the conversation came up. I was like, there's so many missing cats. Do we have coyotes out here?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, no, sweetie, that is not what that is. And obviously, their coworkers telling me this, and I'm not going to try to figure out how they all know this. I'm like, you do, that is your life. But I just remember being so taken aback and having people just say, yeah, that's a thing out here. Like,
all right, next time you find one, save the tab. We will call it on the podcast.
Hell no.
Why?
I'm not touching that thing?
Use gloves. It'll be fine. It's been outside.
I'm so
take a picture of it with your phone.
I can take a picture of it.
And we'll see. We'll test it. We'll gut test it on. Take a couple. We'll see. We'll see how many are real missing cats and how many are looking for a good time.
But no, what if it is a real missing cat and you call them, they get excited, and it's like a whole thing?
I don't know.
Give people hope. Either for a cat or for
it's for science.
I don't want anyone to get excited here.
People are definitely going to get excited if it's the other poster.
Too.
Okay. If anybody listening to this can verify that this is going on in their area, I'd be super curious to know. I had never heard of it. I know there are other ways that people signal those kinds of parties. I never heard of the cat poster. I feel like out here, you would get a lot of responses for either. I feel like, But I don't think a lot of people would actually use that because, one, you actually can't just post anything anywhere here. Like, you have to have permission in certain areas. They'll take it down. Yeah, they're very particular about that kind of thing. So I don't know. I'll have to keep my eyes peeled next time.
Nope. If it's not on Paw Boost, I don't believe it anymore.
Interesting. What if it's on Craigslist?
Definitely.
Then you know. Yeah, exactly.
Nope.
Oh
Craigslist,
my gosh.
it's still thriving.
It's so, what's so crazy? It just goes to show you they have never changed the UI on that. It's exactly the same. It filters exactly the same as it did back in like 2008.
Still Times New Roman.
Yeah, it's wild. It's the worst interface I've ever seen, and yet somehow it works. It really does.
I know someone that ended up working for Craigslist at one point.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember, but they're very intentional about not making changes to it. I wish I could remember why. I could probably find it. But it's like a known thing where if you go work for Craigslist, like it's no frills in terms of what they design, but what they do on the back end is apparently really impressive. So it's this facade of no change on the front, but they got stuff going on in the back.
I mean, it is a massive amount of information that you can filter down pretty easily. So it's interesting. I don't know. I feel like the headquarters for Craigslist would look like Tom's room in the background of his profile picture on MySpace. Like just like
MySpace.
Dude, you okay? Like, yeah. I hope Tom is living his best. Tom, I wonder what he's doing. What is Tom doing? Does anybody know?
So I do actually.
Oh my gosh, I would date Tom if I weren't married.
Oh, we would all date Tom. He's married, I'm pretty sure.
That makes sense.
He sold MySpace to Fox, I want to say.
Oh.
Bless me. He sold it to some media company. It was like Fox.
Okay. Interesting.
Took his money and he disappeared, but he does like philanthropy work in the background. And
I love that.
He ended up going back to coding, if I'm not mistaken. He's like an engineer for his own basic stuff.
Honestly, he is the social media CEO that we all needed. And he stepped away because he was a decent person, it seems like.
He was done.
Yeah. Came to do what he did, and he finished, and he walked away. He didn't turn it into Facebook or Instagram.
I want to think I'd be able to do that. I would make my money, I'd sell my company, and I'd be good. But if I've learned anything about myself over the last 6 weeks, 4 weeks,
okay,
there's no such thing as enough.
I mean, you could always maintain that, right? Keep it as it is, but then use the money that you get from that to start something else that's like so for profit. It's absurd, I think OG MySpace was phenomenal. I think Tom was the antithesis of a bad CEO, right? Like he was the owner of, I don't know if I would have even called him a CEO back in the day. Was he ever the CEO? Did he ever have that much of an yeah, there you go.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just the opposite of what we see now in a tech CEO, like a young tech CEO. He was living in garbage at his like Windows 98 computer coding MySpace. I love that. And it was great. And then came Facebook and Twitter
it was all
and Instagram and Snapchat. I feel like Snapchat was really the beginning of the end of social media, though. I don't know. I was never into Snapchat. I was also a little old for it to be something that I was into, but I had siblings who were.
You know what I really miss?
What?
AIM.
Oh, I was never so okay. I would, if they brought AIM back and they only let people with certain birth years in, the ways that I would live my life on there, I would post my daily status. I would put music. I would put lyrics in there. I would put all my old alerts. I remember the alerts I had for certain, because you know how you could have certain alerts for certain people.
Your away messages.
I fucking remember the alerts I had when certain people logged in. And then the crushing, soul crushing door slam when they didn't hit you up after you heard them logged in.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, maybe it was their brother that logged in and logged them out.
I would 100% use AIM over iMessage if they could give it back to me.
And AIM was phenomenal. I would absolutely use it. They did bring it back, like a shell of it at one point. I don't remember who did. Yeah. Oh man, I loved AIM. Honestly, bring AIM back for businesses. You will get every young Gen X and millennial so incredibly invested and engaged. I would be on there even when I wasn't supposed to be working, just to 100% engage with AIM. Yeah.
I would actually use that instead of Slack.
Oh, in a heartbeat. It was so good.
I don't want a Slack status with a palm tree. I want some really sad emo lyric talking about my broken heart because 100%. I'm in a meeting.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, so good. Vague posting.
Yes.
I wish someone hadn't eaten my lunch, but I guess that's what happens when you work in an office. when they make you return to work.
I could get so shady with that. I'd have to think about that.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so there would be some petty things.
AIM was the OG petty platform because you petty posted against people you liked, didn't like, exes, current boyfriends, friends that you had fallen out with. Oh, so good. And reading other people's away messages, you're like, okay, who's that about? And you'd have to find the other person that had like a
it's like a back and forth conversation.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I remember one time I had a friend who posted lyrics. They were Biggie lyrics from a song, and he got the lyric wrong. It was like the grammatically correct version of what the lyrics would be if they weren't like correct. I was like, let me aim you. I'm like, buddy, the line is this. And he's like, oh, fixed it. I'm
My bad.
My work is done. My work is done.
Charity.
So good. Oh, bring back AIM. Maybe we should bring back AIM. We'll bring back a new one.
Let's do it. I'm into it. Screen names
who
only.
Owns it?
So it was AOL, which is part of Yahoo.
I know.
Well,
right, but who owns Yahoo now?
Yahoo owns Yahoo. They acquired. Yahoo just acquired somebody
so weird,
very surprising. I want to say it's like they want to acquire.
Don't they own MSNBC?
Nah, I don't know about that, but I know they were looking to acquire like a bigger browser, and I was like, one, that's a thing.
Are you going to send me a CD in the mail so I can try it out though?
Oh my God, that would be cool. I would love that. I don't have a disk drive anywhere. But yeah, Yahoo was just about to buy somebody, and my first thought was Yahoo
wild to me.
That can buy people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people over 80 got to have email addresses, and they're all Yahoo, right? So.
Oh man, I remember there was a point where I tried to recover my original Yahoo email address, and they didn't have any. It had been too many years for them to have the emails. And I'm like, I don't want just the email. I want the emails inside my inbox and my sent folder. Like, that's what I want. I want the drafts that I didn't send.
Yeah. I tried to do that with my Hotmail account like 6 months ago. And the questions they ask you are just like, there's no way in heck I'm getting those. It's like, name the last 3 emails you had or recent senders. I'm like, the last time I logged into this account, I was 12.
Right.
So I'm going to guess it's a lot of spam at this point, but no idea.
No.
Rest in peace.
You know, my Gmail just isn't as good. I got Gmail during the beta testing.
Yeah.
And so I've had it for a very long time, right? But it wasn't as good. Like, the dirt is in my Yahoo email. You know, my younger self. AIM. Exactly. Oh God, if I could see like a audit log of like all my away messages, or just my statuses.
That's all I want.
I would be so happy. I remember seeing people posting on AIM when their schools were approved to be on Facebook, because you know how they did the rolling, like, you know, my school was a small parochial school in Massachusetts. So I don't know how we didn't end up on that list sooner, but we were like definitely not at the top of that list. And I just remember being like, oh, there's another person on Facebook talking about Facebook. And I'm like, not me. Wild times. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, keep your eyes out for cat posters and let us know whether or not this is really a thing. Let us know if you've ever given it a shot. I would be very curious.
Live your truth.
Live your truth. Absolutely. And we'll keep our eyes out. And who knows, maybe we'll find one and we'll test it out in a future podcast. But yeah. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We release podcasts every Wednesday on YouTube. I almost said Facebook. On YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And until next week, stay safe and careful what posters you're responding to, I guess.
Bye.
Bye.